So, I'm sure you know this moment when you're just out of the shower and you catch a sideways glimpse in the mirror, not on purpose, not because you were looking, but because you were passing by. And before you think anything, you just feel, oh, when did my body decide to head that far south? And you make it a joke, quick, dry and under the breath, almost not really there. But your body doesn't hear the joke. Your body only heard the first part. And something tightens. You couldn't possibly say where. You can't name it. So you don't put it down. Now here's something I want to say to you before we get into anything else. There is a truth underlying all this. There is a deeper feeling that you want to be touched. You want to feel pleasure. You want to be sensual and be seen as sensual. And that's what makes no sense. You're not tired. You've checked. You haven't gone off intimacy. At 2 a.m, you turned over and none of the reasons fit. You still want your partner. You still look at him and think, yeah, you want to be wanted. And yet you can't let yourself be seen. Hi, it's Damien and welcome to Tantric Flame. So, yes, when our bodies mature, when they go through some form of change, now this doesn't have to be just an age thing. It can be pregnancy, can be operations, can sometimes be illness. And when we look at ourselves in the mirror and we see that we have changed, it can make us feel like, I don't want to be seen anymore. I don't want to be looked at. Some years ago, I worked with a young lady called Tracy. She was in her late 50s. She'd done all the kid career stuff. And her partner was a nice chap. She said she still loved him. But for the past 10 years, she'd been changing in the bathroom before coming to bed. And not only that, but the negligees, the lingerie, all the fun stuff she used to change into, that's gone. She now put a big baggy t-shirt on and climbed into bed. When they turned the lights off, that was it. She felt like she could breathe then because she couldn't be seen. And this isn't something that happens in one instant. This isn't something that we have an event in our lives and suddenly we don't want to be seen. This doesn't work like that. It's something progressively over time. Every day for 15 years chipping away at us. That is where it flies under the radar. It's so that getting changed in the bathroom, that switching out the light before we go to bed, all that is automatic. We don't think about it, we just do it. If you have that feeling where you want to be wanted but you cannot let yourself be seen, then this is what we're going to go into next. Tracy said it probably clearly, more clearly than most. She said she felt like she was living in a house, but she was looking at it from the pavement. And there's a truth in that. When we spend time living outside of our house, outside of our body, we notice the weathered paints, those pencil marks on the doorframe, the worn dip in the third stair. When we stand on the street, we see what's faded. We see what's cracked. We compare it to the new build property just down the road, which is all sparkly clean and nice and tidy because it's new build. So of course it is. Come back in 30 years and see how that one looks like. But here's the thing, from that pavement you cannot feel the warmth in the house. You can't smell the bread in the kitchen. You can't smell the meals or hear the laughter. We just feel that general warmth. And that's where Tracy felt she was. She was stood outside her own home, looking at it from the outside. She was stood outside her body, out in front of it, reading the walls, finding what was wrong with it, instead of actually being inside her body and enjoying it. You can go back to the mirror, the glimpse, the joke. That thing that tightened, that sensation of, oh, that is your body getting ready to be measured, to be graded. It goes still. It waits for a verdict, a judgment. And when Tracy said that she had felt hard and flat, that's what she meant. When you live outside your body, when you live on the pavement and look at your house, you can't appreciate everything that's going on inside. So, however your body has changed over time, it is still the same body inside. You still have the same feelings. You still have the same sensations. These verdicts, these judgments, are passed and created by other people, by social media, by the press. This is how we should look. When the reality is how you should feel. That's where pleasure comes from. And once we start thinking about it, once we start turning our intention inside and saying, well, let's feel the pleasure inside instead. Let's reconnect to our sensuality. Tantra has a wonderful little phrase, which I'll probably mispronounce, because I always do. It's called Pratyabhish. And it basically means recognition or re-knowing, knowing again. We're not saying that this is something that's new, that's learned, it's a new behavior. It's not. We are remembering that sensuality that lives within us. It's been there all along. We just changed our focus and started looking from the outside in. So you can know you haven't lost the warmth, you haven't lost your sensuality. You haven't lost the capacity to be excited by the briefest touch of a hand or a whisper of a kiss. But you can't recognize that from the outside. You have to come inside, you have to feel it. When Tracy realized that she had been standing out on the pavement looking up at her own house, it gave her a sense of freedom. She didn't walk out of it a different woman. She didn't walk out that session a different woman. She still catches herself in shop windows. But what's changed is she stopped believing the pavement. She stopped believing what social media say, what the press says about how we should look, about what the common judgments are out in the world. That way she can free herself to enjoying moments. She can lay down in a hot bath and just enjoy it. When she smells something that smells so delicious and fantastic, she can lean into it and enjoy it. And when her partner puts his hand down her back, or when he gives her just that kiss for no reason, her body can still soften. And none of this, you'll notice, ever asked how you look. None of these sensations are based around, well, you can only do this if you look this way. That's not true. How you feel, your sensual body cannot see you. It can only feel. The doorway to your sensual self was never locked. We just shifted our focus. Just so you know, this podcast, it clears away the noise, the static that stops us from enjoying pleasure. That's what we do. But clearing the static, opening the pathway to the door, isn't the same as opening the door. So I've created an audio just for you. It's called Flicker. It's free. And it doesn't remove anything, but it does open the door. It does enable you to open the door to a deeper sensuality and step through. It won't fix everything. It won't transform you. And I'm not going to pretend it will. But what it will do is empower you to take the first step back towards your sensual self, to recommitting. It's just 20 minutes of your time, your body, and make the time for yourself. You deserve it. The link is in the episode's notes. It's free. Just enjoy, please. Now, you've been listening to this podcast for 10 minutes and you have not once thought about how you look, Not once. You've been there, in here, the whole time, and you didn't notice you'd gone in. So just for a second, just take a breath. Let your attention drift down into your hands. Just get a sense of any feeling, any warmth. Perhaps you can notice a pulse. That's it. Just sit still, nothing at stake. There's no mirror. This is just reminding you of the door. That's it. So when you catch yourself on the pavement, don't argue with it. Don't talk yourself into liking the paint. That's a fight you will always lose. Just turn and step back inside to yourself. Reconnect to that warmth. Reconnect to your sensual self. Now on Sunday we'll go further with this. We'll do a full somatic tantric session to really start leaving this negativity behind. So I look forward to seeing you then. And in the meantime, just be gentle with yourself.